once the subconscious mind is programmed, it will change the frequential makeup, if that's even a phrase. It will change the frequential makeup of your electromagnetic field. Who you are, how you talk, how you react, how you act, how you see the world, how the world sees you, what you resonate with in the world. Because remember, when we talked about resonance and the violin and the singer with the glass, you are emanating frequencies into the world as you pass through it, and when you meet something that matches your frequency, nothing is at rest. Everything is moving. The Kybalion. Plain and simple. Everything has a movement, and that movement produces a vibration. That vibration has a frequency. Now, what you do with that knowledge and information, eyes to see, ears to hear, is up to you and up to your imagination. Now, what do you do with that? Keith, I get it. Everything's moving. Everything vibrates. How can I use that? Well, one example of using that is, since everything moves and that movement creates a frequency, tuning into that frequency allows us to see it better, allows us to experience it more acutely. For example, you turn on a radio. My favorite here growing up was K-Earth 101, Los Angeles, and it was an oldie station. But simultaneously, there are hundreds of radio stations broadcasting frequencies at any given time, all existing simultaneously in time and space. But you tune the radio station to 101.1 for hertz, and what you see is, or what you hear is, your favorite radio station. Because you're able to tune into it. Okay, cool. Now let's introduce something else that should blow your brains a little bit. Resonance. This is a nice sub-piece of the law of vibration. Now, resonance says that when you have two or more neighboring objects that are harmonious to one another, they will vibrate each other without being touched. Resonance, the vibration of two harmonious objects, the synchronistic vibrations of two harmonious objects, more or less is the actual definition of resonance. So you pick up a violin. This will be your physical. This will be the material manifestation, right? As above, so below. This idea of resonance, the harmonious and synchronistic vibrations of neighboring objects, happens both in, or not both, but on all frames, the physical world, the mental world, the spiritual world. Not that there's only those three. We can categorize them into those three, but they're all existing on the same plane, right? They're all existing on the same line. They just exist at different points, a different degree of existence. That's awesome. However, when they manifest on the degree of the physical realm, the law of resonance can be seen as this. Is easy everyday science project. You take a violin string, tune it to E, right? And then you take a neighboring violin string and you tune the E string exactly the same. Right, there's your harmonious and synchronistic, the matching, right? That's what it means by harmonious and synchronistic, meaning those two frequencies match each other. And you pluck one string, and it will produce a vibration. That string that's tuned to E will vibrate. That vibration will release a sound that we hear. But those vibrations exist in the physical realm. They will emanate from that string, and those vibrations will touch the neighboring violin string. That string that's tuned to that E string, because it's matching in frequency, will start to move. Without being touched, the neighboring violin string will vibrate of its own accord through the synchronistic and harmonious vibrations of the other string, and it itself will start to vibrate and produce its own sound. Meaning I can make the violin string move with frequency alone. Here's another example. Your singer that takes the glass and sings and shatters the glass, what's happening? The vocal cords again are vibrating. Movement, vibration, produces a frequency, produces sound. And that the shape of the glass is its own frequency. The shape of the glass produces its own frequency because everything produces a frequency. Everything is moving. Even the glass, it seems to be still on a subatomic level. The electrons are spinning, it's producing a vibration, it's producing a frequency. So that glass has a frequency. The pitch of the singer matches that frequency. What happens? The glass starts to move because it's a matching frequency. I promise there's a point to this whole thing. Stick with me. Stick with me. I swear to God there's a point to this that's going to help all your magical endeavors. Just sit tight, hang with me. Keep your, you know what I mean? Ears for those to hear, eyes to see. Be patient. So that singer matches the frequency of the glass. The glass starts to move. Now you crank up the volume. The singer sings louder. You add amplification to that frequency, and you get a more powerful vibration. The glass moves so violently that it can shatter. If you can hold the frequency exactly perfect, and with enough amplitude, enough power, you will shatter the glass without touching it. Though you are actually touching it. You're touching it with vibrations, not with your hands. Okay, so now, Keith, how is this important? Keith, how does that make any sense in my world? Okay, well, you signed up for it. This is going to go at least twice as long as this video. If you're serious, you're going to stick around and you're going to hear me out because this is some fucking straight up magic right here. You as a person emanate your own frequency. It's called your electromagnetic field. Your electromagnetic field. It's measurable. Your heart produces a massive one, your brain produces a smaller one. I did another video on this called Blood Magic, and you know what I mean, it ties blood magic and awesome. But long story short, there's information in that field. Scientists have already proved that there's information inside that field. You ever been around someone that rubs off on you? And you feel their anger, you feel their sadness, or you've been around someone who's just the holiest of the holy. You ever hear those stories like, I was talking to Bashar and I just felt magic in his presence? Or you just have that one homie who's super tapped in, and you every time you're around them, you feel motivated and you feel uplifted and you feel inspired and you feel moved. That's because there's information in their electromagnetic field that you can feel, that you can pick up on. Because it's palpable, because it strikes latent chords in you that need to be resounded, that need to be resonated. So how does it help your manifestation? How does it help your, I don't even want to say law of attraction, because there's attraction, which is the magnetic force, you know, the feminine force, and then there's electricity, the positive force, the masculine force, which projects. We don't want to just be receiving all the time. We want to receive and we want to project. We want the yin and we want the yang. We want masculine and feminine. That's the law of gender, not to be confused with sex, which is the heavy physical aspect of it, but gender meaning to generate, to create. That's what the law of gender is. We'll get to that in a different video. Make sure you subscribe, stick around so you can hear all the magic. But back to vibration. You have a subconscious mind, you have a conscious mind. Your subconscious mind is your, we'll call it your 24/7 frequency. Your conscious mind is your acute awareness, right? Your subconscious mind takes in information. Your conscious mind plugs the information. So back to the radio analogy. Your subconscious mind is like KRF 101. KRF 101 is broadcasting, oldies radio, Los Angeles is broadcasting 24/7. Whether you're tuned in or not, that frequency, that broadcast is being emanated. Your conscious mind is the dial You can move your conscious mind to 101.1, to 104.7, to 105.5, you know what I mean? That's your conscious mind. It's constantly looking from one thing to another, but it only focuses really on 1-2 things at a time. It is our job as creators to use our conscious mind, our ego mind, our individualized mind, to focus on something. When we focus on something, it gets transmitted to our subconscious mind. And if you transmit long enough and hard enough with enough application and enough duration, it will program the subconscious mind. And once the subconscious mind is programmed, it will change the frequential makeup, if that's even a phrase. It will change the frequential makeup of your electromagnetic field. Who you are, how you talk, how you react, how you act, how you see the world, how the world sees you, what you resonate with in the world. Because remember, when we talked about resonance and the violin and the singer with the glass, you are emanating frequencies into the world as you pass through it. And when you meet something that matches your frequency, like the glass, like the violin string, that object in the world will vibrate. If it matches, it will vibrate, it will resonate with you. That's why, I mean, we know this inherently, which is why we say things like, I really resonate with her, or I really resonated with that material, or is what I'm saying resonating with you? Meaning, am I striking chords within you? Or are the tonal vibrations coming from my throat striking parts of your electromagnetic field, your aura, whatever you want to call it? Are they striking chords within you? And are they starting to move you mentally, spiritually, physically? Because they will move you on all levels. If it matches. If it matches a part of you. And again, with enough power, with enough application, then you'll get more of a response, like the glass. You can shake the glass or you can shatter the glass with your voice, depending upon how much amplitude you put into it, how much power you put into it. This is how we generate. This is also the law of gender. It's hard to talk about one law without talking about them all. This is the law of gender in action, along with vibration. Gender meaning to generate, not man and woman. Though that's a part of the law, it's not the law. Because the masculine mind is the your masculine, aka your ego mind, your acute awareness, right? Your thought processes. Psychology has, I forgot the psychology term, but I read an old book from like the 50s, and it talked about the elephant and the rider. So the rider is like the masculine mind, the ego mind. That's the one that's giving the orders. Do this, do that, don't do that, don't do this, go left, go right. It's the direction, or for the most part. And the elephant under the rider is like the feminine mind. That's where the power comes from. That raw energy, that untapped pure potential of force comes from the feminine, comes from the subconscious mind. Again, because the subconscious mind is constantly emanating a frequency. Right? There's not necessarily any power behind the masculine. The masculine, the conscious, just directs. Remember, the consciousness just directs attention. You have the choice to cut out everything in your world and only focus on that. That takes willpower, that takes discipline, that takes acute awareness. Right, these are all masculine adjectives. Acute, well, you know what I mean? The ability to cut out all things, to not be holistic, to not be integrative, to not, look at the whole picture. Right? That's not the power of the conscious mind. The conscious mind is to say, I don't care about anything. I don't care about the news. I don't care about what people say. I don't care about the story I've been telling myself my whole life. I don't care about anything. What I care about is I have a goal that I want to accomplish, and I'm going to focus directly and only on that. Using my willpower, using my discipline, using my conscious mind. And if you're able to do that for a long enough period of time, you will program your subconscious mind with that frequency so that you don't have to focus on it anymore. So that it becomes ingrained as a part of you on every part of you. Mind, body, soul, baby. Spirit, mental plane, physical, and everything in between. And that's the magic. That's the power of the law of vibration, in accordance, I guess, with the law of gender, is that you can program your base frequency to act in a certain way so that you don't have to try so hard. At first, you have to try hard because it's extraordinarily difficult to program the subconscious mind. Rightfully so, because if it wasn't hard to program the subconscious mind, you'd be fickle. One day you would be motivated to do something and the next day you wouldn't. And if you find you're that type of person that's very wishy-washy, it's because you haven't taken the time to really dial your soul in. You haven't taken the time to dial in your habits. You haven't taken time to dial in your willpower, which is a muscle, by the way. It's scientifically proven. There are tests all over the place. Your willpower is a taxable resource. And it is like a muscle. The more you demonstrate willpower, the stronger it gets, but also the weaker it gets. Which is why it's a really good idea to take care of big projects at the beginning of the day. Right? Because the more strain you put on your willpower, the more strain you put on your discipline throughout the day, the less you're going to have. But the more you use it, the stronger it gets. So know that, right? This stuff that I'm talking about isn't just out there floating in the ether as a concept. It's a practical thing you can use in your everyday world and reality, day and night. So again, program your subconscious mind so that it has the frequency that you want to emanate, so that it has the vibration that you want to emanate. And you program the subconscious mind with your conscious mind. So we have to be diligent on what we allow into our sphere. The movies we watch, the books we read, the magazines, the conversations we have, the conversations we don't have. The things we exclude are just as important as the things that we include. Never forget that. And then you'll start to see the magic happen. Then you'll start to see so check this out. Synchronicities. Isn't it funny that the definition of vibration is the synchronistic and harmonious vibrations of neighboring objects? And when you're dialed in more, when your meditation game is strong, your yoga game is strong, you're getting out of nature, you're not consuming garbage in the mind, in the body, or the soul, and you start getting more synchronicities, and you follow those synchronicities, and they lead you to more synchronicities, and they lead you to more magic, and you have that conversation that you never would have had, and you have that opportunity that would have never arrived, and you find yourself in a situation or position that you would have never imagined yourself to be in, at least with your old paradigm of thought. What's the lesson? The lesson is, when you can walk around in the world and your electromagnetic field that's full of information comes into contact with the electromagnetic fields of other people, of nature itself, of existence itself, you're going to communicate with those things. And if you match the frequency of those things, you're going to communicate stronger. You're going to communicate more clearly. You're going to communicate more efficiently and effectively. And if it's the frequency that you chose with your conscious mind, with your ego mind, if it's a frequency that you chose that's in alignment with your highest fucking calling, then those experiences are going to be beautiful and they are going to be numerous. And you're going to live a life that is goddamn magical. And you're going to watch a sunset and you're going to bawl your eyes out because you cannot believe how beautiful this life is. And it's going to be I'm almost going to start crying just thinking about it. And it's going to be the most spectacular moment of your life when you start to realize this. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to take some time. We live in a world that is constantly bombarding us with everything. Not that it's good or that it's bad, it's just there's so much that we can't keep up with it, you know what I mean? Like there's some things that you're going to love, absolutely, and you're going to want to put time into, but it's not your highest. You know, we can do all the side quests we want. I encourage people to do all the side quests, you know what I mean? They're fun, that's how we become well-rounded people, it's how we get the most out of life. But then there's a time to finish the main quest, you know, finish the main quest and go about, you know, just make the decision. Make the decision for what you want and work diligently to program that frequency inside of you guys. And best of luck. Best of luck. If you guys made it to the end of the video, please subscribe and support the cause. Please subscribe, support the cause, leave a comment. Did it move you? This might be the first time I ever almost made myself cry in a video, because that's the level of happiness that I want you guys to reach. That's possible if you just sort of get out of the way. You know what I mean? Or maybe not. Maybe get in the way of the things that move you. Let the things that move you hit you like a goddamn freight train. Get in the way of all that is beautiful. Forget get out of the way. Get in the way. Create your own. Create your own. Create your own. Create your own. Good luck. Hit me up if you have any questions. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for subscribing, the support. If you want to support the channel, you can with the little... There's a little tip button right underneath the friggin' YouTube video, which is pretty awesome. You can join my Patreon, or you can just be here and hang out. I'll see you guys in the next video, okay? We're going to go over a bunch of the laws. If you're still here, we're going over all the laws in any circumstance that we can imagine. We're hitting Hermetics hard. Talk about our soul path journey. That's what we're doing here at Man Letters. We are Hermeticists, or at least we strive to be. So, good luck. And see you soon.